termite season.
Hi, it's me.
And bugs fear the blue trucks from Essential Pest Control.
Go blue at Essential Pest Control. We'll eliminate those bugs, bees, and termites. And stop paying too much to that national provider. Buy local for great service and affordable rates. Call Essential Pest Control because termites fear the blue.
Run for your life.
Call for the blue trucks from Essential Pest Control. 886-3029. That's 886-3029. Or check online at essentialpest.com.
This is Ed Wilkinson with Wilkinson Wealth Management, where we manage money for gun owners. What does it mean to retire comfortably and remain comfortably retired? It means designing a plan that allows you to do the things you want to do, outpace inflation, and never run out of money in your lifetime. If you want to retire comfortably and remain comfortably retired, call me, Ed Wilkinson, at 777-1911. That's 777-1911 or WilkinsonWealthMGMT.com.
I'm proud to welcome my good friends at Tucson Iron and Metal Retail to Inside Track as an advertiser. Jamie Kipper and her staff are conservation experts. They sell round and square steel tubing, metal plate and roofing materials, as well as new and used steel, aluminum, and stainless steel to ranchers, artists, interior designers, roofers, as well as you do-it-yourselfers out there. Tucson Iron and Metal Retail is open Monday through Fridays, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon. Tucson Iron and Steel Retail, 701 East 36th Street. Call 520-209-1576. That's 520-209-1576, or go to TucsonIronRetail.com. Come by and be sure to ask for Jamie. Tucson Iron and Steel Retail. This is what conservation and repurposing is all about.
Welcome to Inside Track with Bruce Ash and Ed Wilkinson on the Live the Dream Media Network.
Hello, everybody, and a very pleasant good morning to you wherever you may be. Welcome to episode 28 of Inside Track. Bruce Ash coming to you today solo from the Live the Dream Media Studios. We have a very interesting big Wednesday show for you today on Inside Track. Eb is on assignment. He'll join us again next week for a special pre-Thanksgiving Day show featuring former U.S. Ambassador Thomas Price, and we'll be discussing diplomacy in the world today with him next week. Joining us directly is someone we all know and love, Alan Caith with two L's, and his broadcast partner for the upcoming El Tour event, Ralph Phillips. Ralph also owns Fair Wheel Bikes on 6th Street. Right. And what's the cross street?
It's just east of Park.
Right.
One block on Fremont.
Right next to the laundromat.
Correct.
And
you've been there.
I have. Thanks for joining us on the Live the Dream Media app or watching us on X, Facebook, YouTube, or our other platforms. Before we hear from our guests from the El Tour, Alan and Ralph, I have a few quick observations on the news. First, the UN Security Council passed a U.S.-sponsored peace plan for Gaza 2 days ago. This is a significant achievement for the Trump White House and for the region. It also signals what could be a major shift in policy for the Muslim states, as there's a move against Iran's theocratic dictators who, by the way, after the ass-whooping Israel and the U.S. put on them earlier this year, are hanging like a thread, by a thread. Ignore the hubbub surrounding the Epstein files. What a joke. If there was anything on Donald Trump, wouldn't it have come out in like 2016, 2020 elections, certainly between 21 and 24, when Democrats were engaged in a political lynching of the president? It's all kabuki theater. That's all it is. A quick observation on the end of the longest government shutdown ever. Did anyone miss the U.S. Department of Education during the shutdown? The department is being dismantled and funding will go to the states where educating our kids is actually happening. The U.S. Supreme Court is taking up the lawsuit filed by the RNC to return Election Day voting to Election Day and disallow votes not received by any election to be invalid. Somebody on this story said, allowing states to count large numbers of mail-in ballots that are received after Election Day undermines trust and confidence in our elections. I remember an election in Minnesota for U.S. Senate maybe 15 or so years ago. Norm Coleman was running against a comedian from Saturday Night Live, Al Franken. And they mysteriously found two big loads of ballots in the back of a registrar's car about 6 days later, and that was the difference in the election there in Minnesota. And finally, the U of A signed a deal giving naming rights to historic Arizona Stadium to Casino del Sol for $60 million over a 20-year period. College and professional sports has become way too close to gambling schemes. The spread, over-under, and sports parlays, they show up in every sports report, and they're crawlers during the games. It creates an opportunity for cheating, and the focus of gambling directed at people of color is disgusting. I am born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. I'm a former U of A student athlete, letter winner, and Arizona Wildcat for life. Arizona Stadium will always be Arizona Stadium to me. Okay, the first half of today's show brought to you by our good friend Eric Rudin from Essential Pest Control. Call Essential to keep your home or business free from all forms of insects, vermin, and weeds today at 886-3029. Fellas, the L Tour is right around the corner. Thousands of cyclists here in Tucson for the big race. Many of the best in the world will participate, and lots of other cycling enthusiasts. Our special guests today are here to talk about this big event. Well-known personality in Tucson for many years, Alan with two L's, Keith, who will be reporting on the L Tour, along with his broadcasting partner, Ralph Phillips, who I just met here in the last few minutes. Welcome, gents.
Thanks for having us.
Good morning.
Good to have you on the show. So, where do we want to start? Maybe talking about the history of the L Tour?
That's a good start.
So, why L Tour? When? How did it come about? And talk about it, because this sort of had different historical things that have happened along the way.
Well, Richard De Bernardis was the starter of it, and that was, I believe, 1982. And I remember he was an energetic young man, came into my bike store and cut off Levi's and hiking boots and a T-shirt, asked me to donate some water bottles, and I'm going to have a bike race around Arizona or around Tucson. I'm looking at him and say, okay. And he had a lot of enthusiasm and good person people. He would remember you and make you a friend and drag people into it, and he got that ball rolling.
So how long did he have to work on this, pardon me, before the L Tour #1 took place?
In terms of probably a full year before it started, just to get the first one rolling. And then it was a continual process. I think Richard would take a month, a year off in the middle of the summer, and he had a customer and a friend from Japan, and I remember he went over to Mount Fuji and rode on Mount Fuji.
So was the originator of the L Tour event, was he a cyclist himself?
Yeah, he had done this is out of my memory, which can be kind of shaky. He did a similar event somewhere, I believe, in Alaska, where he rode around the border of a city in Alaska. Or it could have been another state. But as I remember, that's where he got his idea.
Ralph was one of the originals with the L Tour. Was you one of the first winners of the L Tour?
I did not win. I came close. I was third place in 85.
That's pretty good.
Well, it was okay. I liked it. I wanted to be first place, but it didn't work out. And then the next year I did it, and I was fifth place. And then it kind of went downhill from there, and I stopped doing it. And Richard approached me and said, "Hey, why don't you talk about it?"
So let's talk about talking about it.
Sure.
You guys have done a broadcast on the L Tour for how many years now?
We're not sure, Bruce. We think it's either 14 or 15 years.
I think it's pushing close to 20.
20 years?
20 years. Time flies.
It seems like 20
fun.
minutes underwater. We don't really know for sure how many years.
So what was the genesis of the broadcast?
Well, before Alan worked with me, they'd appoint somebody from a radio station wherever, and I never bonded with any of those people. You know, we never met. We never talked about it. First time I worked with Alan, he said, "Hey, we got to go out and drive the course so we know what's coming up." And I thought, well, okay, this guy's got something here.
Only just, the 6 Ps. Proper preparation. And then the other 4.
Right.
And being a professional broadcaster, he can even make me look okay,
He does a great job.
He makes me.
If you haven't heard him, you need to listen. He is the John Madden of cycling.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but I like it.
So what makes this broadcast tick? Do you guys follow in a car, on a bike, in a helicopter? How do you follow? This is 100, is it 100?
10,000.
110 miles, right?
Oh, yeah, 100, yeah.
How do you follow the activity? Because there's also several different parts of the El Tour, right? We'll get to the details later. But how do you cover the entire race?
Well, because I'm a commercial broadcaster, Subaru of North America, through Tucson Subaru, provides us the car every year, a brand new one. And we have to have a sunroof for Ralph for him to go up top and check.
I get to stand up and turn around and look at the peloton right behind me. It's exciting.
We're ahead of them. And we only go just a little bit faster than the riders do.
We're in the lead vehicle, so we stay just in front of them for the whole race. But that hasn't been true. In the past, when we used to go around Tucson, now we go down south, we would have to leave them because we couldn't drive the Subaru across the Sabino
Creek.
Sabino Creek. So,
oh, my.
So they would assign us a motorcycle police officer. He'd have lights and sirens going, and we're going like 95 miles an hour. Boom. To get to Sabino Creek.
That is a kick, Bruce.
It was
legally going 95 at the city. Legally.
It kind of made my pulse go up, and I wasn't even riding or moving.
That's part of the reason I keep coming back.
Chris and I, just a slight departure, Chris and I did a motorcade with Vice President Pence. He went down to the Caterpillar Proving Grounds.
Sure.
And we were in one of the vans with the press, and the Secret Serviceman kept saying, "Press it, go hard. You need to go faster. You need to go faster." We're going down Valencia Road, westerly on Valencia Road, at 90 miles an hour.
I've been there.
Okay, there's nothing better than a police escort.
Isn't that a rush?
And
you know you're not going to get a ticket.
It was awesome.
My biggest thing was I turned to the police driver and said, "Holy smokes, we're going above the speed limit." And he looks at me and he's smiling and said, "You've never been in a car chase, have you?"
No.
No.
And I doubt anybody was ever chasing you either.
We were supposed to be chasing something.
So you're doing the broadcast. Is it radio? Is it TV?
Radio.
Cable?
Radio.
Okay.
ESPN 1490.
Okay. Good plug for
I had to slip it in.
1490. No, that's great. We need to let people know where to find it. So again, we're kind of getting a little ahead of ourselves. Let's get back to the broadcast, though, this Saturday, right?
Yes, yep.
It's supposed to rain.
Afternoon.
It's rain or shine, buddy.
Okay.
Rain or shine.
We've been in it when it's been really rainy and really cold.
We've even had a little snow.
Yeah, we've done it all.
So it's an all-weather deal. If it's raining, the El Tour still goes.
These cyclists are ready.
Yeah,
they're ready to go. They know that.
What are you going to do? Send home 10,000 people and say go home?
Right. And this is quite a setup, because there's detours, there's all kinds of traffic barricades and so on.
Not as many as there used to be.
Yeah,
Talk about that.
Go ahead.
When I first started, we would roll through the southern end of Tucson out west to right around Midvale Park, come through the Santa Rita River. The bicycles, some would try to pedal through.
Yep.
A lot of them wouldn't pedal through; they'd walk their bikes through because that sand is just was a lot.
Right.
And there would be mariachis there to serenade them.
And
that was
Dunkin',
one of Richard's big things, is
and
to have
Dunkin'
mariachis there. So that was the old time. Also through the Santa Cruz River, we would go south a little ways and then come back up north through Oro Valley, unincorporated Pima County, cut through Marana, Sun City. I'm taking it out of order because it's been so long now that I can't remember the order, but there were many crossings. On sunrise, people would be cursing at us. Rancho Vistoso, Aina, Silver Bell, all these roads that were heavily traveled, they're not being affected at all by this race anymore because when we start the ride, we go from downtown, down Aviation, out to the southeast side, and then down Houghton Road, actually through Vale first,
Right.
and then down Houghton Road to Corona de Tucson.
So are you on Interstate 10?
We are not
No.
on I-10.
We're on the old Nogales Highway on the way back in.
Got it.
So we go to Sahuarita Road and then go west. It does disrupt, and Dan Shearer was here on Chris's show. I had lunch with Dan a couple of days ago. He said, we're looking forward to seeing the riders come through, tongue in cheek. But really, there's not a lot of disruption in Sahuarita and Green, but there's a little.
I was just going to say. So
It's very minimally disruptive now.
Well,
for traffic.
I think economically the cost of having all the traffic control when they went around the city was one of the biggest burdens financially
Sure.
that El Tour had.
Sure.
And they had to change they were having a little economic problems, so they went south and saved a lot of money doing that.
And that alignment was not just really spur of the moment thought out. That alignment was known as the chute, and there was a person in this room that developed that ride for his friends and clients, and that man's name is Ralph Phillips.
Shoot out.
Whatever. Shoot out.
That's a Saturday ride, and
So that's Ralph's Saturday ride, was that alignment.
So let's talk about road race versus a ride.
right.
Okay. Because you tutored me a little before we came on the air.
Right.
That this is not a road race.
Well,
per
let's
se.
anytime you give first place, second place, third place, it's a race.
Okay.
So what they've done in the past, they had a problem differentiating that. And now what they do is they start the racers first, and they get 500 people that start first, and they've got a 5-minute gap in front of everybody else. And okay, they're racing. The rest of the people they call it a fondo. It's just something that they've wanted to do for physical reasons, for memory of somebody. They got talked into it at work, whatever. You got 10,000 people out there who are just doing it for fun. Well, 9,500. So that's how it is now.
But there's a lot of pretty good cyclists here in Tucson.
There are a lot of
I have a friend who's out probably twice a week.
Yep.
And actually, the two of them, Gene and Gary, these guys probably cycle 100, 120 miles a week. I mean, that's
this is
a
102
lot.
in one day.
Right. But they're doing this all year long.
Yep.
And they do it, here. They do it if they're on vacation someplace.
Right.
I mean, this is really quite an exercise.
I would be willing to bet that they would not want to do the 102, even though they do enough per week, because that takes a lot of juice to do 102 miles.
Well, it's just a longer time, more endurance.
Yeah, I think Gary does. Is there like a 72 mile?
60 they call it a century, metric century.
Okay,
63
all right.
miles.
I think that's the one that my friends have competed in over the years.
Yep.
So getting back to the event, I used to live in the Fort Lowell and Swan area for a long time, and the race started, or a portion of the race started there.
There was a 30-miler that started right at McMahon's restaurant.
Yeah. And, I've never been troubled by the traffic, okay? Sometimes I sort of divert wherever I need to go during the tour, to avoid running into problems. I think it's sort of quaint to have
It's like a lot of things in Tucson, Bruce. It's like metric I-19.
Yeah.
It's like the scopes.
Right.
We have a lot of quirky things here.
Keep it kinky.
Yep.
That's not one of them anymore.
River
That's
Road.
River and Craycroft, and that was a little dangerous, so that was taken care of, but we get your point. But there are a lot of neat, unique things around the city and county here. That's one of them.
So let's talk about preparation for the L Tour, the actual race day itself or ride day itself.
Preparation for the
When does all the different stuff on the streets that have to be done, getting all the different relief areas set up? How much time? How many people? There's got to be tons and tons of people and lots of hours that are put into this.
A lot of volunteers, a lot of former riders.
I think the signage is put out 24 hours before, so it should go out Friday night. And then they'll put it into place that morning. And it's a timing event, so the people down in Sahuarita know approximately when we'll be there.
Right.
They adjust it accordingly.
Yeah, and I think that was our thing. I knew when the race started, okay? And I was there, 10 or 20 minutes before, kind of watching all the festivities going on. And it lasted, 10 minutes or so once it started, and then I'm walking back to the house with the dog.
Yep.
It's just, again, this is a great event that lots and lots of people have the ability to appreciate, some up close and some listening to you guys on ESPN
1490 AM. Also, if you have an HD radio, do you have an HD radio in your
car?
In your car?
Yeah.
It's on 94.9 HD4.
Ah.
So you can hear it in stereo if you want.
The dulcet tones of Alan Kay and Ralph
whatever.
Phillips.
In stereo.
So who's driving the car Saturday?
Sergeant Stadenko from Cheech and Chong.
I beg your pardon?
No.
We don't know, Bruce.
No,
There's
actually,
some off-duty,
it's
great driving policeman.
No, he's a fire department guy.
He is?
He teaches all the fire, and I'm forgetting his name. We just call him by his initials, TJ or TR. I apologize, I can't remember. But he teaches fire truck drivers how to drive fire trucks. So
I had no idea.
This guy, well, I sit right next to him, so we chat a bit.
Yeah.
So he's a good guy, got a great, calm sense of driving skills, like no stress there. Boom, let's go.
So you guys are basically in front of the
Peloton.
higher level
Right.
competitors.
We're in front of the first place man, woman, or whoever it is.
Right.
And we can instruct the driver in a place where somebody might have broken away, like last year. 4 or 5 people broke away and stayed away, and one of them won the race. And I didn't think that could happen. But in the interim, we can ask the driver to stop and wait for the peloton and see if they're organizing to try and catch those breakaway people.
Which happens often, but not last year. They broke away so quickly, and they stayed ahead for so long that the rest of them could not catch them.
Yeah, they broke away in the first mile and a half, and
And that was it.
out of 102 miles, and I didn't think they'd make it. But that's my advice to a racer now: how to win a race: break away at the start and keep increasing your lead until the finish. Easy
peasy. So my wife and I were in London 2 summers ago, and we were there on the Queen's birthday.
Wow.
Actually, it's probably 4 or 5 years ago, on the Queen's birthday. We're in a pub right across the street from Parliament. And I walked out after having a couple of beers, and I looked to the right, and I'm looking in front of me, and there are thousands of cyclists that are completely buck naked.
Yeah, only in England.
They do, and they would do it every year on the Queen's birthday.
God bless them.
I think it was a forefinger at her because they knew she would be appalled. What's the craziest thing that's happened in this ride that you can recall? You've been doing it a long time. Anything that comes to...
there's a few.
Well, somebody will show up with like a child's bike or a unicycle, Well, a couple of years ago, a guy marathoned the whole course. So you get some people way out on the fringe edge, but it's always an athletic that I can remember, a crazy athletic endeavor.
This is a train town. We followed the trains.
Right.
Tucson followed the train. And because of that, there are a lot of at-grade crossings.
Mm-hmm.
We've crossed those at-grade crossings for the ride. Many of them are eliminated now from the route, but we both remember at Cortero Farms and Tangerine, and then down along the Nogales Highway where we would cross down by Raytheon. The trains would block us for, 5-10 minutes. And no one got to go. We would all sit there and wait for the trains.
What happens to timing when the pack has to stop at a train? And I realize that doesn't really happen much in these days, the way the routes changed. But when they did have to stop at a train stop or a train crossing for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, how would that affect time?
It made it 5 or 10 minutes slower. I mean, they didn't do anything about it. The people in front, if it was a breakaway, I remember a team from Mexico was just really livid about, we got to get through this train, and we're looking at them like, I don't think that's going to happen.
Welcome to Tucson.
Yeah, here it is.
That's what it is.
Wow. Well, look, we need to...
Oh, I've got one other.
Okay, go ahead. Then we need to pay some bills right after.
So we're in the lead vehicle, and we're going down south on the frontage road, and we take a wrong corner. And there's a breakaway, a tandem, 2 riders on the breakaway, local people, 2 professionals.
A tandem bike.
On a tandem, so 2 people,
and that's
1
allowed.
bike. No longer.
Not anymore.
But it was.
Very important distinction. That went away 2 years ago? 2
or 3. And I think that was a good decision.
Yeah.
But back to the story, we made a wrong corner, and being the lead vehicle, the tandem followed us. Of course, naturally.
Right.
And I know both the riders on the tandem, and we all of a sudden realized about a mile south that we're on the wrong road, and so we have to do a U-turn. I'd never heard so much swearing from the 2 tandem guys. And, of course, the peloton caught them, and they were stuck with the peloton until like 2 miles from the finish, and they gunned it and won.
And won.
And won.
That's
really?
A story.
Yeah.
Wow.
But again, it's a tandem, and that's no longer around for this ride.
Well, fellas, we need to take some time out to pay some bills. No channel flipping. We'll be right back after we hear from the folks who help us pay the bills. So stay tuned.
It's termite season.
Hi, it's me.
And bugs fear the blue trucks from Essential Pest Control.
Go blue at Essential Pest Control. We'll eliminate those bugs, bees, and termites. And stop paying too much to that national provider. Buy local for great service and affordable rates. Call Essential Pest Control because termites fear the blue.
Run for your life.
Call for the blue trucks from Essential Pest Control. 886-3029. That's 886-3029. Or check online at essentialpest.com.
This is Ed Wilkinson with Wilkinson Wealth Management, where we manage money for gun owners. What does it mean to retire comfortably and remain comfortably retired? It means designing a plan that allows you to do the things you want to do, outpace inflation, and never run out of money in your lifetime. If you want to retire comfortably and remain comfortably retired, call me, Ed Wilkinson, at 777-1911. That's 777-1911 or WilkinsonWealthMGMT.com.
I'm proud to welcome my good friends at Tucson Iron and Metal Retail to Inside Track as an advertiser. Jamie Kipper and her staff are conservation experts. They sell round and square steel tubing, metal plate and roofing materials, as well as new and used steel, aluminum, and stainless steel to ranchers, artists, interior designers, roofers, as well as you do-it-yourselfers out there. Tucson Iron and Metal Retail is open Monday through Fridays, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon. Tucson Iron and Steel Retail, 701 East 36th Street. Call 520-209-1576. That's 520-209-1576, or go to TucsonIronRetail.com. Come by and be sure to ask for Jamie. Tucson Iron and Steel Retail, This is what conservation and repurposing is all about.
Welcome back to Inside Track with Bruce Ash on the Live the Dream Media Network. Now back to our show.
Welcome back to Inside Track. This portion of the show brought to you by Ebb's great company, Wilkinson Wealth Management, who helps my family. Let him help yours as well. Wilkinson Wealth Management. Call Ebb today, although he's not here today, but still call him at 777-1911. Inside Track also brought to you by Essential Pest Control, Tucson Iron and Metal Retail, and my company, Paul Ash Commercial Real Estate, where we make great things happen every day. Let's get back to our friends from El Tour de Tucson, Alan Caith and Ralph Phillips. They'll be broadcasting the El Tour this weekend. And Ralph, you have a bike shop here in Tucson. Been around, I think, since maybe I was in school a while ago, and talk about Fair Wheels Bike and talk about how you have been part of this whole biking craze that's been going on now for, gosh, a long time. How many years?
Well, for me, 50. This will be 52.
But who's counting?
Yeah, but who's counting? My body is counting. I fell in love with cycling. I just couldn't get over it, and I was working at a bike store, and the owner was putting it up for sale, and the sale did not occur, and I came up to him and said, "Hey, I'll buy it," and that was 52 years ago. And I had no experience in business, no experience anywhere other than a love for bicycles. I remember after the first 6 years or 6 months in business, somebody from the city comes and knocks on my door and says, "Hey, you got to pay sales tax monthly." I go, "What?" So that's how it started.
Oh, that had to be fun when you got that.
Yeah, well,
had that thrown at you.
Well, you learn, you make mistakes, and that's how you learn. Stub your
I think the
toe.
city was less forgiving then.
No,
Really?
no, I think they're
50
more.
years ago?
Well, I don't. There was a.
So so your customers, are they buying the racing bikes? Are they buying bikes just to tootle around campus? I mean, talk about your typical customer.
Well, everything's changed over the several years. I mean, when I first started, I was selling racing bikes, and also we're right next to the university, so a lot of people who were commuting in and out of campus. It was the big deal then. I mean, back to school, we'd sell everything we had on the floor during that week of back to school. Things have changed. I mean, people use skateboards now, scooters with electric engines. It's a different type of atmosphere.
And the sport or the activity itself of cycling for just regular Joe family guy and Joe family lady and Joe family kid. Talk about that.
Well, the L Tour has helped in that instance because Joe's uncle has done this, and Joe's uncle is talking to Joe and say, "Hey, you ought to do this with me." And then Joe talks to his kid, and his kid wants to do it too. And I've seen generations come through. So I've got a friend this year who's doing it with his son. And on the other hand, I've had people who have purchased bikes from me to go to school, and now their son, daughter are in my store buying bikes to go to school. So I've seen a couple generations do this.
What's really funny is that when we're on the ride, he will know all these people by face. Not just the ones in the top 500, but when we drop back to see the rest of them, they know that he's in that car with me, and they'll say, "Hey, Ralph, what are you doing?" And he knows who they are. He has some sort of an eidetic memory that he
it's not that good anymore. It's
remembers
going
all
downhill.
the clients, and they all know him. They all come in to have maintenance done on their bikes during the year, but also the riders and the racers come in during the week, and they have work done on their bikes. The competitive ones.
So this whole cycling society that exists out there, they're not just here for the maybe the few days before and maybe a day or so after the tour. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of these out-of-towners, out-of-staters, out-of-countryers who come here to train at various times during the year. Right?
You're exactly right, and that the ride the shootout ride that Alan had referred to earlier it's now an international ride. I mean, we've had people from Germany, professional riders, come in and train here.
What is describe the shootout ride?
It starts every Saturday. It depends on what time of year, but it goes Saturday, and we go south and on Mission Road that goes through the reservation, and we go down onto we descend on Duval Mine Road, go through Green Valley, and then back in, and a lot of times we'll come back in up Helmet Peak Road and makes it a lollipop loop. But we have, I mean, world-class riders here training, especially in the wintertime. So,
Plus
and triathletes.
They get to have some Mexican food and maybe something to drink.
Work those carbs off a little bit.
Yep. That's the nice thing about cycling. If you ride enough, you can eat enough.
Right.
Anything.
You're pretty trim. Not so much you.
I don't ride. I sit and observe.
So when I was a kid, I was telling Alan this the other day. When I was a kid, I think I was 13 years old. I'm an 8th grader at Doolin Junior High School here in Tucson. And a buddy up the street, we both had our 10-speed bikes for a few years. And we said, why don't we, and we lived in Winter Haven. Tom said, why don't we go down, ride our bikes to Santa Vera Mission? I said, that sounds like a great idea.
And?
It was like early spring.
Yeah.
I was never so sick in all of my life. And we got all the way down there. We came back. My grandmother at that time was living in Tucson. She lived right across the street from the U of A, I think one street south of 6th Street. And I just like died right there. And I knew my mom would come to pick me up and throw the bike in her trunk. But that was the last time I did like a long ride. I mean, now during the summer, I'll bike a lot. You know, when we're over in California, most people, that's really what they do. It's just kind of it's an exercise, but it's also just a way to get out into the fresh air, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, it's a great way to just enjoy the day. But when you start racing it, it's like this endurance sport.
Right.
And all of a sudden, that plays into it.
So the cyclists who are in this race, the 500, okay, because there's like 10,000 people who are in the race, right?
Right.
Probably closer to 11.
Yeah.
The whole thing is about 11.
So that elite class, these guys and gals, what kind of training besides cycling are they doing to keep themselves in shape and get the strength and endurance to do what they do?
Well, there's no...
You did it for a while.
Yeah, there's no sport for the sport like the sport. So if you're going to race bikes, you ride a bike a lot. But back in my day, you'd have it seasonally. So after the race season ended in October, you'd take a month off. Then you start training weightlifting, building strength, and then you start riding your bike again and getting in base miles. So you go out for a 5-6 hour ride just to get that endurance built up. And then you go into the quick explosive training, sprinting and just doing, they've got it divided up into sections now, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's what you have to do. So
let's talk about frantic finishes at the El Tour.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of that last 2 miles or last 1,000 yards, what kind of, competitive racing is going on? Have there ever been any neck to neck, like photo finish at the El Tour over the years?
All the time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, talk about some of that.
Well, I think last year was the breakaway year. The year before that, we had a group of, it was like 10 or 15 people coming down into the finish area. But the finish area is really unique. You've got a hard left-hand turn, 90-degree left-hand turn, and then you're going downhill for about 150 meters, and there's the finish. So basically, you've got to get through that corner first if you want to win. I mean...
And not tip over.
Yeah.
They're really rocking it, probably up to, 40 miles an hour maybe?
Oh,
45?
Easy, especially with that downhill push.
And the finish line is at the TCC on Cushing Street. So you have to make the turn off of, I believe it's 6th, is it Stone or is it 6th Avenue? I can't remember, probably 6th Avenue.
6th Avenue.
A left from 6th onto Cushing, and then you're down into the valley there, that south side of the TCC, parking lot B, you know where that is. That's the finish line.
Yep. So it's a slight downhill. And you're only 150 meters after that corner to the finish.
And so it's electronic timing. And so we'd absolutely have a definite winner, but sometimes it's the 100ths of a second that determine it. And that happens fairly often. Even last year it did. The first couple were
individual.
Couple of individuals were maybe a second or two off.
Yep. After you're through the first three places, then you get people sprinting in bunches.
Right.
And then it's very close.
So a couple of weeks ago, I timed at the U of A USC men's swim meet at McHale Pool. And I hadn't done that in about 25 years. It was homecoming for the swim team. So
Nice.
I was with my buddies that I swam with in the 70s. And all electronic timing in addition to stopwatch. So when the riders are in this race, do they have some sort of a thing
clip,
that picks up?
clip? I don't think so, do they?
Maybe the individuals do if they're in a group that really takes it seriously, like
I don't think so.
The groups from Mexico, maybe they have something.
Yeah.
But
I don't think
they time individually, but not for the El Tour.
Yeah.
The El Tour is their own. They start it electronically and they end it electronically. And if anyone wants to do something different than that,
Got it.
you can do it.
So it's all from the El Tour timing
Right.
device at the beginning of the race.
There's no
and then also
other
at the end.
official timing.
I don't
device.
think you could put 10,000 clips on people.
Right.
So it's just
Any Rosie Ruizes who've tried to sabotage the El Tour over the years?
Yeah. You
really?
remember?
Which one? I can't.
Every year there's like a poser that cuts in somewhere out near Vail.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well-
Because I say, where did this person come from? And you say, he cut in somewhere. He's just trying to ride with the pack.
Well, yeah, I can see those, but they don't.
Remember those?
Yeah, I see those guys, but they don't try and finish with the back.
No, they don't.
and
They just
come in.
ride with.
They don't have that kind of chutzpah to
No.
try to pull off that
They
sort
can't.
of a
They
thing.
couldn't. They don't have that kind of juice to do that.
And they don't usually have a starting number, so it's kind of like, you're out of here.
Oh, got it. Okay. There's lots of foreigners that come and ride in the El Tour.
Absolutely.
How far away are they coming from?
So I want to put in a plug here for Rotary International. They do that.
We need to talk about Rotary.
Thank you. So they're doing this thing called End Polio Now, and one of the ways they raise money is riding an El Tour. And the CEO of Rotary International happens to be an avid cyclist. And Mr. Hugo comes in and he pulls in his buddies we've had people from India, from Australia, from Germany, France. All these people come in to do this ride to make enough money to end polio now. And they'll make $1 million.
From this race?
Yep.
That's a huge benefit.
Yeah.
I kind of pay attention to the tour,
Yeah.
as much as anybody else.
But these are all donations.
But I never knew that there was that kind of money that was being raised for charitable causes. I mean, that alone is overwhelmingly legitimizes the importance of this race.
Well,
I know you don't want me to call it a race, but
the offset on that is Bill Gates has donated like $20 million to end polio now. And it's broken into like a 5-year sector, and we have to match each of the $1 million for each year. So this is one of the ways they do it.
oh, that is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
To the novice that is not paying attention, it's just another big ride in Tucson. But there's so much more than that with this thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's taken on a life of its own.
And I think that was Richard's little idea was to put in people who are representing a charity, say, okay, you join and the donations you make can go to your charity, and we're just going to charge you this much, which is great. I mean, lots of people coming in for that.
So one of the personalities here does the El Tour and has a little team of his own.
Yep.
Talk about the resurgence of all these local teams and out of city teams, out of country teams that come in, the teams that compete. in the El Tour?
Start with Mexico.
Well, they haven't participated in a while. I haven't seen a team effort for a while. It's individual riders who get out and do it, but not really a team. I haven't seen what was it, P&E?
You're right. There was a Grupo, what was it? Can't remember. It was Grupo something, P&E.
Okay.
There were lots of Mexican teams that take this thing very seriously, but Ralph is right, and I kind of forgot that they hadn't participated. They didn't participate last year, did they?
No, ever since the pandemic, and they would regularly win it for like 8 years in a row. Boom, 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 boom. But they would come in with like the Mexican national road champion.
The very best.
Yeah. We have the United States national road champion, Quinn Simmons, who trains here in this winter. I don't know if he's going to participate or not, but he rode the Tour de France. He's quite an up-and-coming pro rider.
We've had Floyd here.
Floyd Landis was on the back of a tandem one year, and I got to interview him from the back of the tandem. That was really unique. He's a nice person.
Who else have we had here, Bruce?
We had Greg LeMond.
Yeah, he was here.
And one year, what's his name? Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, he was here.
He did it one year, yeah. So, I mean, we've had all kinds of famous riders do it.
So talk about the leadership in El Tour at this time.
Leadership as far as directing it?
Yeah, directing it, kind of getting things done, making sure everything's set up for the event.
They went through a hard time, and they've replaced it and replaced it again. And the new management is doing a great job. They're on an up. They're ticking up. I mean, last year they broke records of attendance, and this year they're going to break that record.
The executive director is a guy named T.J. Juskowitz, who the El Tour board found doing this sort of thing in either Iowa or Florida, right?
It was Iowa, and they have a race in Iowa called Ragbri, which is the race across
Iowa. It was sponsored by the paper.
The paper
Iowa,
and a lot of beer
Rag.
companies.
Right.
But he had done that for 10 or 11 years, and he came here, and he's got he's doing a really great job.
They even have a run now. There's an El Tour run.
Yeah.
During the race or before or after?
After, I think it's after,
No,
isn't
it's
it?
during. Everybody starts.
The cyclists go, and then the runners go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many miles is that?
I think it's a 10K.
That's not bad.
No.
They have fun runs, fun rides.
Yeah.
The kids can do a little, I don't even know if it's a small, tiny ride, but they get to participate in some way as well.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat, Bruce.
So before we go, let's talk again. How do people listen to your broadcasts for the El Tour?
Patiently.
ESPN Radio is the venue, and we start at 7 a.m. sharp.
And when does everybody start?
7 a.m.
7
We
a.m.
start right at 7 o'clock.
Yep. Boom.
And from 7 to about 10:45, we do cut-ins every 15 minutes to give a status update of what's happening. And this is during, college football Saturday on ESPN. So if you don't like college football on radio, not going to be great for you. But then we take over at about 11:15 and keep it until noon, and then we're done. So we talk to the winners, we talk to the interesting folks, we even talk to people that maybe had a little hard luck out there. And some of the stories are, I still remember talking to Chad Kazmar, who wrote it.
Our chief of police. And he really surprised me. I had no idea who he was. And he said, "Come on, Ralph, I bought a bike from you."
It's incredible, the numbers of people that will just not necessarily let you know that they're going to be there, but then they're there and they run it. So it's a uniquely Tucson thing, and I'm so glad that it has been saved because we would never have gotten that back.
And there was a couple of years when it really looked as though this thing was lost.
Right. Yeah, and it means a lot of millions of bucks to the city. I mean, all these people from they stay in the hotels.
All these charities too.
Yeah.
It's like hundreds of millions of dollars over 42 years. Hundreds of millions of dollars to hundreds of charities here in town.
Yep.
Well as restaurants, hotels,
Right. All
VRBOs. At one time we were operating a bunch of condo associations around town. We had a bunch up in the Northwest area. And at any time from really like El Tour time all the way through March,
They were booked.
these things, we probably had 50 of these apartments, all wrapped up in all kinds of different locations. 50 per property.
Yeah.
Were VRBOs with racers.
Yeah.
And doing all kinds of elite training here in Tucson. And so I know it's a different form of cycling, but there's a velodrome being built.
That is
here.
huge, and it just was finished and opened this week.
So any idea what kind of an impact that might have?
Oh, it's going to bump our
Wouldn't you
destination.
think?
Oh, hugely. The closest velodrome of that caliber is in California.
It's in L.A.
And this is a world-class velodrome. It's the only one in the world of aluminum. And
So I thought these were always wood or some sort of material, not aluminum. What's that about?
well, it's a new concept, and the guy who built it that's all he does is build velodromes. I think he's built 80. He'll finish this when he go someplace else.
But
like
it's his
Brazil.
first aluminum velodrome.
Right. And
They've never built an aluminum velodrome before, but
they have thought this out.
to do it because of heat out here too.
Well, they've got heat sinks on the bottom of it, so it doesn't hold the heat, it dissipates it through. I mean, they have thought this through immensely. It's a great venue.
It's out by the fairgrounds. And there'll be a lot of training for the Olympics here.
It's going to open up a whole new level of riders that are coming to Tucson. I'm really glad it's here. I think it's going to be great.
And how many yards or
250 meters. And then if you look at it, I saw a picture of a rider holding his bike up against the track. So the track is at a 42-degree angle. So
42 degrees.
So if you're not, and he can
How scary is that to ride that?
if you're not going at least like 15, 20 miles an hour, you're just going to slide off the
Right.
edge of it.
holy moly?
Yeah.
Well, fellas, it's been great to have you here on Inside Track. Thanks very much for coming in. Again, one more time, tell our listeners and viewers how they can get your broadcast.
ESPN 1490, 94.9 HD4, if you want to listen to it at a little higher quality than AM radio. But the AM's still pretty good.
It is pretty good. That's my desired
I like listening to AM. AM is active-minded.
I agree.
AM. It's Rush Limbaugh said that, I think.
All right, before we finish up, tune into Chris's show tomorrow. It's Bike in a Box Day with Wake Up with Christopher D. Simone.
And Jesse Lugo.
Yep. Jesse will
be
be here with a cast of many, totaling up all the money that's raised. They're going to get 500 bikes for new kids. Even that has kind of a
That's huge.
tie-in
Isn't that nice?
with the tour. If you haven't already made a gift to Buck in a Box, help Onita and her crew put live wreaths that come in from Maine on grave sites of thousands of veterans here in Tucson. And hey, support our great sponsors. Fellas, we're out of time today. We need to run. Thanks so much for joining us today. Wishing you great success in El Tour, your broadcast.
Thanks, Bruce.
And I'll be listening and expect to have a good time. That's it for today. Inside Track podcasts are available on Live the Dream Media's Facebook page, YouTube, Apple, and X. Thanks for joining us today on Inside Track. Em and I think, will be back next Wednesday for a special pre-Thanksgiving show featuring former U.S. Ambassador Thomas Price. We're going to find out how accurate the Netflix series The Diplomat is in real life, and it'll scare you how realistic it is. Until then, this is Bruce Ash for Eb Wilkinson. See you again in 167 hours. Bravo, fellas.
Thank you, Bruce.
I think